What are you making of all this?
Well, at the end of the day, the industry has been money losing. For like any industry, for long term, just not sustainable. But the fallout of Hanjin Shipping is really like Lehman Brothers to the financial markets.
That's quite a call saying that. I mean,
it's a huge, huge nuclear bomb. It shakes up the supply chain, the cornerstone of globalization. You're talking about $120 billion worth of goods on those ships that are stuck, before deliveries to the ports and to people like Walmart. So there is a material impact to the supply chain, and people are suffering from the consequences of this major shakeup. So it's material. It has never happened in the past.
It surely must have happened in the past, but probably not to this scale, maybe?
Not to this scale, smaller ones, but the scale of it, just huge, huge. You're talking about one of the largest shipping lines in the world that is moving boxes, millions of boxes here and there.
Well, it affects you as well. You've chartered 3 ships to them, haven't you?
Yes, we have 3 ships on a long-term lease to them. Obviously, given the fallout, we're having a little bit hard time dealing with them. But at the end of the day, in the big picture, the impact is minimum to us. But what I'm trying to get is the impact to the manufacturers, the suppliers, the shippers, the receivers, people like Walmarts, people like factories waiting for parts.
And you're not the only ones who chartered ships, so there must be a whole load of other people, too, who've done exactly the same thing. Are you going to get these 3 boats back, do you think, these ships back?
We're evaluating the options. At the end of the day, we're comparing what they offer to us through this receivership and what we can get from the market. And again, at this point in time, I have nothing more to comment. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is the impact is huge. The partners, shippers, manufacturers, the whole supply chain is being shaken up. So there's a tremendous flight for safety. The freight rates have shot up like crazy, over the short term, and over the long term, I don't know. But there's one thing for sure: this fallout will help the
but you
demand
must have
and supply.
some sort of, I mean, so how are charter rates and freight rates?
Well, the freight rates have gone up. The charter rates, of course, have been really impacted as well. So we're evaluating the options for ourselves. But the freight rates have really gone up substantially. From Asia to North America, the rates have doubled. From Asia to Europe, the rates have gone up 40–50%, which is welcome news to the industry.
Yeah. It's just been a long time coming, I suppose, because
correct,
of these...
correct.
I mean, it's strange because many of these ships are half empty.
Well, they're half empty, but at the end of the day, depending on which trades you're looking at, the load factor is actually pretty good, because we're talking about Christmas peak season at this point in time. Our big ships are generally speaking 90–95% fully laden, so they're pretty good. Cargo volume is not the issue. Right now is the systemic impact from Hanjin fallout. It's like a nuclear bomb. You're dealing with all the after quake, consequences. The creditors involved, the manufacturers involved, shippers involved, the receivers involved, the container terminals involved, all the supply
but Gerry,
chain.
I mean, it goes back to an intrinsic flaw, isn't there, in the industry, which is when times are good, they order a ton of new ships, and by the time they get them, the whole market's gone against them, and they're stuck with excess capacity. And this happens all the time. Then they have to scrap, and then they see things are getting better, and then they order more ships.
Absolutely. This is I call it a self-adjusting process. I guess it happens to any other industry, in the commodity side, on manufacturing side. It's just part of life. You deal with cycles. As far as Seaspan is concerned, what do? We lease those ships on long-term basis to ride over the waves of the cyclicality, and hopefully we get the stability out of this cyclical process. That's our business model, and we've done very well in spite of this Hanjin fallout. And again, it's a small impact to us. But one thing I want to comment is South Korea is here to stay, and they will recover from the thing. And the Korean economy is heavily dependent on exports. I'm sure they'll work very hard to try to come up with a national carrier, status.
Do you think this would make you think twice, though, Seaspan, in doing business in South Korea?
Correct.
It would make you think twice
Correct. I mean, sure. I mean, you have to...
I mean, South Korea's here to stay, but you're thinking, hang on a second, maybe corporate South Korea isn't doing that great.
You know, obviously it's not pretty. You know, it's not a good situation to be had, but I'm looking over long term. I believe in the resilience of the South Korean economy, and South Korea as a big economy with $1.5 trillion, 45% of which are for exports. I think they need a national shipping carrier, and I'm looking forward to working with them in that direction to help them build a true national carrier sponsored by the government so that it becomes a critical link in their economy. The economy is heavily export-oriented. They need a reliable supply chain to deliver their goods to the receivers. That is very, very important. I'm looking forward to working with them, and at the end of the day, I believe South Korea will come out strong.
But you're cautious in the short term, right?
Correct.
Okay.